time having arrived, I will call the Public Health and Safety Committee for Monday, October 20th, 2025 to order. We'll note that Alder Lukens is excused from this evening's meeting. And the first item on our agenda is public comment on agenda items and the reading of the City of Wausau public comment statement. So I'll read that quickly into the record. The City of Wausau recognizes the value of public comment on local issues and the importance of allowing members of the public to express themselves on city matters. Please identify yourself by name and address. Each statement made by a participant should be limited to 3 minutes. Direct all comments to the chair, not to members, staff, or other participants. People addressing the council committee shall not disrupt the orderly course of business. The chair values civil discourse and may interrupt, terminate, or prohibit public comment that does not adhere to those rules. So that's our standard wording. With that, I only have one item that I'd like to bring up under public comment in case our commenter has somewhere else that he needs to be this evening, because the tavern activities report rests at the end of the meeting. Matt Brewer is here from Matt's 101 Pub, and he'd like to give us just a brief update of how the block party went last weekend that we approved. So welcome.
Well, good evening. So Dan Moss and I had spoke after our event, got to speak with the other bar owners or managers. We must have had 500 or 600 people that wandered through our streets, and the street closed perfectly. No issues with that at all. No safety events, no fights, issues, or problems. And we had such a great event. People had a ton of fun yet again this year. So I think we're probably going to be between $5,000-6,000 raised for St. Jude this year.
Nice.
Again. So we're probably going to break $30,000 in the last 4 years. Which this event does that for us. So it's a big event for us, and we've enjoyed having it. And I just want to thank all of you for helping and support us, and just making sure that it happened for us. Thank you so much.
Perfect. And you guys manage it real well, and it looks like the weather cooperated, so that was a help too.
Yeah, it did. Thank you very much.
Great.
Yeah, thanks.
Awesome. Thank you for that report. Item number 2 is to consider the minutes of our previous meeting. Oh, okay. Did you have comment, Phil? Come on up.
Okay, thank you. It's not on the agenda. Can I speak?
Sure.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. My name is Philip Rentmeester. I'm the Director of Emergency Management for Marathon County, and by agreement, I'm the Emergency Management Director for the City of Wausau. I would just like to take the public comment time. I promise I'll stay under 3 minutes just to give you some updates on 2025 on what we did for emergency management. Let's start off with disaster declarations. City of Wausau did not have any so far this year. There was some weather that came through. Some municipalities east and west of here did have some disasters, but nothing in here that reached the threshold of a disaster declaration. We did have some newsletters that we contributed to the city newsletter, whether it was flood preparedness, cold weather preparedness, personal preparedness, and summer heat as well. For 2026, in the spring of 2026 newsletter, we'll probably be submitting one on sirens. We did that back in 2024, but I have to tell you, I get more comments, more questions on sirens than anything else in the city of Wausau. The residents reach out to me all the time on that, which is great, and I get them taken care of. Now, some training opportunities that we've had in 2025 that were available for you folks, for your staff, residents, and other members of the county emergency response community. We started off with a workshop at amateur radio earlier this year. Then we had the Intermediate Incident Command System, or ICS 300 training. We went into the Air Force. We had hosted them for a basic inland search and rescue class. We then did local volunteer and donation management training. We then went into Advanced Incident Command System, or ICS 400 training. We had volunteer reception center training with our partner, United Way of Marathon County. We had evacuation planning and reentry training. All these classes, by the way, were typically held at the Lakeview Conference Center over on Lakeview Drive at the county facilities. One class that was not held here, but I taught over an an ago, was the practical applications of the Incident Command System. Then we taught ICS 300 at Central Wisconsin Airport just a few weeks ago. We're going to start ICS 400 again, and that starts tomorrow at the Lakeview Conference Center. And this weekend, we're hosting the Wisconsin Cyber Response Team, and that's available for individuals to attend as well. For exercises, earlier this year, we had the Northern Lights long-term power outage tabletop exercise that we did in conjunction with the FEMA National Exercise Division. They came out and helped us out with that long-term power outage exercise. We had a tornado drill in April. We worked with SAFER on a Wisconsin River hazmat tabletop exercise. Be willing to work with Wausau Fire as well on that one in the future. But in November, we're actually working with Wausau PD and Wausau Fire on an emergency response tabletop in a location yet to be determined. I'm not sure if it's at one of your stations or we're doing it here. But it's a disaster response tabletop exercise based on a tornado that strikes Marathon Park. I think we're going to throw a hazmat in there too. Now, some planning. The county is undertaking continuity of operations planning, and that we kicked off just a few weeks ago, and I would encourage the city departments to do that as well. Essentially what it is what a department would do in case of a situation where they have to vacate their facility or their operation shuts down for whatever reason. Maybe they have a cyber attack, what have you. How are they going to continue on with their government and providing their critical facilities? We have a hazard mitigation plan update. Those of you that have been around for a little while, we do this every 5 years, and it's due for revision. We're going to start that off in January 2026. Other planning, we typically jump in and help out with the Wisconsin Valley Fair and their planning. We do have the city emergency management plan that I would like to get updated and start that in 2026. It's due. I just need to put a group together, and we're going to probably kick off that process as well. We do have the local emergency planning committee that staff members from different departments of the city are members of. Do have some other exercises coming up. I have an active shooter tabletop exercise coming up and a Central Wisconsin Airport triennial exercise in April and May. And that concludes my updates.
Perfect. Thank you for those updates.
Thank you.
Item number 2 on our agenda is consideration of the minutes of the preceding meeting, September 15th, 2025, copies of which are in the packet. Did anyone note any revisions to the minutes that they needed? If not, I'll take a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll make the motion to
Motion
approve
from
the minutes.
Larson. Is there a second?
Second.
Second from Watson. Further discussion? Seeing none, members in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? None are opposed. That motion carries. Item 3 is discussion and possible action on approval or denial of various license applications. We have a few that are recommended for denial this evening. By our ordinance, those individuals recommended for denial are allowed to address the committee and discuss either whether or not they've submitted evidence of rehabilitation for review or if anything contained in their record is factually inaccurate. Recommended for denial this evening, I believe we have 4. Let me see here. We have Braxton Grakowski. Braxton Grakowski, is he here this evening? Let the record show he has not appeared. Phasia Vang. Phasia Vang is not here either. Renee West. Renee West. Renee, you can come up, state your name and address for the record. I guess talk to us about your situation. Is anything on the record factually inaccurate?
My name is Renee West, and I live at 925 Jefferson Street, apartment 3. I was unmedicated at the time 2 years ago, and I am overseen by a psychiatrist. I have my own apartment. I work full-time. I take my medications as directed. I've lived with my sister-in-law who witnessed me for the past month and a half as me being medicated, job searching, and taking care of my mental health. So I'm actually doing pretty good. I wrote a letter, she signed it, and I'm entitled to have my license. I am fit to be in society, so.
Well, right. Well, and so the license, though, isn't an entitlement. So we have the option under our ordinance for you to submit formal evidence of rehabilitation.
Okay.
That can be submitted to the police department through the clerk's office.
Okay.
And so if you have those documents, whether they are, through anyone that's professionally overseeing you, or as a result of your therapy and that, those documents can be.
Okay, just to keep a job, I have to go through all this because, can I say something? That my doctor will not sign a form for me. I had a hard time getting anyone to sign the form, and my sister-in-law went above and signed it for me so I can keep employment.
Right.
So,
There's some set criteria for what evidence of rehabilitation is.
Okay.
And those are the documents that they have to have if they're going to review those documents and perhaps overturn the recommendation of the PD.
Okay.
So, and those documents can be considered if you have them.
Okay.
We could hold action on this item for you tonight. That would give you until our next meeting to produce and turn in those documents for
Okay.
review. At that point, then, we would ask the police chief who makes those decisions if his recommendation is to be adjusted after his
Okay.
review of those documents. So if you have documents you'd like to submit for consideration,
Okay.
we can hold off on a decision on yours tonight, and then we would bring you back to our November meeting, if that
Okay.
works?
That works.
Okay,
I have to find my letter, though.
okay. And those documents can be submitted to the clerk
my
anytime.
letter.
If you don't have them tonight, you can always bring them in.
Okay, do you have like documents where I can like give my psychiatrist, she won't sign it for
I
me,
don't think
but-
we have a template.
You don't?
No.
Okay, so just have them fill out a letter like I had
Right,
done
or,
previous?
right, or
Okay.
basically just talking about the rehabilitation process that you've been going through and what that progress has been.
Okay, do I submit this now?
You can give a document to the deputy clerk,
Thank you.
and if you have others to submit between now and next month's meeting, you can also bring those into the city clerk's office, and they'll get them down to the PD for you.
Okay, now when I pay my fines, because I do owe a little bit, when those are paid, does that matter? I mean,
It does, because even if we would approve a license for you, typically the license is held until the fines are paid. So
Okay.
you still need to definitely get
because
that
my,
done.
my previous boss, she had made a phone call, she said, does it matter if they owe fines or not? Will that affect them? And she said no, so.
Well, there's a waiver for hardship.
Okay,
So, I mean,
thank
that
you.
also you can discuss with the city clerk.
Okay,
So there are provisions for that if it would be necessary.
Okay.
But we don't handle them in the committee in real time. You'd need to get that done between now and our next meeting, which would be the third Monday of November.
Okay.
So we'll just carry you over to next month's agenda without
Okay.
making a yes or no decision tonight, and
Okay.
give you some time to do that networking,
okay.
and then we can decide next month then.
All right, thank you.
All right, thanks for coming down.
You're welcome.
Go ahead, Cody.
And then just for the evidence of rehabilitation, and the waiver, if you could contact the clerk's office to make sure we have you on the agenda for the next month.
Okay,
That would
all
be
right,
good.
All
I'll
right,
do that.
sounds good.
Thank you.
Thank you. The other denial recommendation is Lindsay Adams. Is Lindsay Adams with us this evening? The record shows she has not appeared. With that, there are some approval recommendations, which are the Class A retail licenses. We all know that County Market is switching over to Hy-Vee next month, so that's on our agenda for tonight, as well as a couple of special events. It looks like one, let's see, Our Lady of Guadalupe Pilgrimage located, okay, it's an event, a Class 2 event from Marathon Park to St. Matthew's Parish. Also a Class A retail for Fuel on 62, Fuel on number 62. That is for 308 Stewart Avenue. They're changing over from the store to Fuel on franchise. So if there's no questions about those, I guess I would accept a motion to accept or deny licenses as recommended by staff, with the exception of Renee West, and we'll carry her over to next month.
Okay, I'll
moved.
make the motion.
Okay, so we have that motion from Larson. Is there a second?
Second.
Second from Watson. Further discussion on any of the applications? If not, members in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? None are opposed, so that motion carries. Those are accepted or denied per the recommendations. And then we'll have Ms. West come back for next month. Item number 4 is discussion items. We've got the Wausau Fire Department Quarter 3 report. Anything on the report that you wanted to discuss with us tonight, Chief?
No, I was kind of going through it. It's a good report as far as talking about some of the different things that we've been able to push forward on with succession planning, what we've done with some of our events this summer. I think getting involved with the community was a huge success this past summer. And, if you had any other questions, the new ladder truck is in there. So other than that, I think it's just been a really good quarter. I think one thing I would add to it that we couldn't put in here because it just happened was being able to celebrate our community care paramedic first responder of the year at the Capitol this past week. It was a great, fun experience, and really gave us some good light in things that we're doing and changing in the paramedicine world. So
I did see that on your social media feed, so that was really great that our community care paramedic. We had a report from him where he really outlined the difference that he's been making in terms of call volume and then even an impact as far as wait times at the ER, which is huge for us. So,
Yeah.
proud of that.
We meet with Aspirus every other week and talk about where we're at and the different stages and steps and moving forward and what we can do next. So it's been fun.
Wow, that's great. It's just great to see such a positive impact once that effort really took flight. So anything on the report that you guys have questions for the chief about? If not, we'll place his report on file then. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Item number, the next item is the Wausau Police Department Quarter 3 report. Anything notable, Lieutenant Pauls, that you want to talk with us about on the report?
Nothing notable except for in Chief Barnes' introduction, he talked a lot about just recognizing the sheer amount of criminal activity and just general police duties that our department does. I think it is a kind of something to talk about. We talk a lot about the extra things that we are always doing to try to keep the community safe, our community outreach specialists, our downtown officers, our CART team. But when you look at the sheer amount of calls that our department takes and some of the crimes that we handle, this quarter especially with the amount of impaired drivers that were taken off the street, the drug seizures, as well as a homicide, our officers are really responding to a wide variety of calls and a lot of them.
Yeah, I mean, those numbers really are eye-opening. I think his narrative at the beginning was super helpful. I think just to give a snapshot, I mean, in addition to all of the things that we normally see on the report this year, we've added the operations of the shelter. And what an amazing job the department has done with pulling that effort together and sustaining it to get through the end of this year. So anything on the report that you guys have questions about that you want to discuss? Okay. If not, we'll place that report on file as well. Thank you for that. Next is the tavern activities report from the month of September. And anything that any of you have seen at the establishments that you want to talk about that are showing, it is kind of a typical month. We did see, a couple of calls that, I guess are in different stages of resolution. We know that Days is now back open, and we did see that they had a theft that was a bit concerning. They're obviously having that work done. And also, it seems that from the report on the spot, they were able to handle an impaired server, which is something that we want to see our license holders be able to do to create that accountability in their workplaces. So that did stand out to me as I read the report. Anything else that you guys, go ahead, Lou.
I just want to make just a little minor comment here. There is no longer a Bull Falls Brewery. It's Bull Falls Brewing Company.
Okay, so we'll have
So
to
it
maybe
should
change
be-
their name on the report
Yes, please.
going forward. Okay, we'll note that request. Anything else? If not, we can place that report on file as well. And then our last report that we receive every month is our community outreach update. So we'll bring Tracy up. Welcome back. To talk with us about her work. And I guess just a little side note about her work. This Thursday, the council is sponsoring the dinner meal at the WMC shelter. And so we've sent a memo out to the council members to let them know that they absolutely are welcome to attend and serve the dinner. And Sarah and I will be working the check-in table that night. So welcome back.
Thank you. Thank you for all of your support, too. I really do appreciate it. In your packets, you'll notice that there's two reports, one from August and one from September, because I was absent for last month's meeting. Really, the thing I want to point out in both reports is just the sheer numbers, right? As of the end of September, we were up to 266 unduplicated individuals who have attended at least one night in our shelter. So we're at the 6-month mark here in October, which is crazy to think 6 months has already flown by, but it has. And what we're starting to see trend upward is our female population has grown a little bit. It was around 26%, and last month it was up to 35%. So we're seeing an uptick in females coming to shelter. And then the other population that we're seeing an increase in is the elderly. We have a fair amount of people in shelter right now that are 65 and older. A fair number of them have mobility issues and other issues that our staff are trying to help them through. So it's it's become a little bit more challenging in that respect, but I think with the help from our community, and I work with Matt too a little bit, we're hopefully getting some other additional resources to help us through some of that. And then really notably, since we opened in May, we've housed over 21 people out of that shelter. And I just want to highlight that because I'm not doing it alone. It's Northern Valley, it's North Central Community Action Program. It's all of us working together to get some of these folks out of shelter and into stable housing. And so really just wanted to shout out to our community partners for assisting and helping. And Chuck and Annie Bongert, who are the owners of the old Annabelle Apartments on Bridge Street, have been phenomenal. They've housed a fair number of these individuals and are so amazing to work with. They really are second chance people. And so I also wanted to just give them a public shout out in this meeting for working with us and understanding the population we're working with and knowing that it's a little bit difficult. So other than that, if you have any questions for me, I'll take those. Otherwise, yes.
Go ahead.
How's, perhaps you don't know, but I'm going to ask anyway, how is the Bridge Street, how's the remodel going over there? I was told by a pretty reliable source that they've reached their funding goal for the building.
Yes,
for the
I believe
remodel
they're
of that building.
Yes, I believe they're actually maybe a little over what they wanted for their capital campaign. So I meet with Craig tomorrow. So what I know is they are in the design phase of their remodel and securing contractors and things like that. So as far as the progress, I can't tell you because I don't know. I don't know if
So are
there's-
we on track for opening up like, what was it, January 1st we were supposed to?
We're going to be having conversations with Craig tomorrow about what
Okay.
that looks like. So yeah, we'll have a better idea after tomorrow.
Okay, all righty, thank you.
Perfect. And then, yeah, maybe that can be part of our next month update as well.
Yes.
Obviously, they have a lot of work to do over there. And I think what we talked about when we approved that contract was that depending on what construction schedules look like in terms of their rollout and their readiness to be able to take that handoff from us, one discussion that we had, I think both internally and within this committee and at council is that if that schedule is such that we need to, maybe figure out an extra few weeks or something to accommodate that handoff, that's discussions that we're certainly willing to have. So I'm just excited to see that coming together. And I think it is important for us to celebrate the number of individuals who've been able to find stable housing that began in our shelter. That really is a testament to the fact that our community does work together so well, both with our nonprofit partners, and also your work, Tracy, in getting people connected to services that can help them get to that better state. So that is just really something I feel like we need to celebrate. And, it's important that people see that the work that happens there every day matters, and the staff that does it, they are, and the volunteers that help there all the time are so, so good. So,
Right. And then I just want to comment that starting November 1st, Catholic Charities will be also opening their emergency shelter back up. So between the two shelters, we will have about 90 beds available. And so that's also a really great thing. We have not turned anyone away from shelter since we opened, but just knowing that they are also there with the colder temps coming is
yeah,
really great for the
this week
community.
starts some colder nights again. So as it starts to get chillier and chillier, I think we'll probably see those numbers be sustainably high like they were in the summer when it was so hot.
Sure.
And we saw that where you were at maximum a few nights in the summer too. So quite a few nights in the summer.
Right.
So anybody have other questions for Tracy about the outreach work or about the shelter operation? If not, we'll place your reports on file as well for both months, and we will see you next month. That is the last item on our agenda for tonight, so I would take a motion to adjourn. Motion from Watson, is there a second?
Go ahead, Alder McElhaney.
Second from McElhaney. Members in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? No one's ever opposed. We'll stand adjourned then. Thanks, everyone.